Have you ever been, like, dead asleep, really deep in that good REM cycle?
Mm-hmm.
And then, bam, your internal system just decides to stage some kind of, I don't know, dramatic 3 a.m. emergency meeting.
Oh, yeah. You jolt awake, maybe your heart's pounding.
Totally. Or you're anxious, or you suddenly desperately need the bathroom, and it's got nothing to do with that bad movie you watched before bed.
Exactly. It's often the body's, let's call it a system alert, usually triggered because your blood sugar took a sudden dive.
Okay.
So today we're doing a deep dive into what's really going on, physiologically speaking, in those, say, 12 to 14 hours after your last meal.
Yeah.
It's pretty chaotic, actually. The body's working overtime, just trying to keep blood sugar stable while you're supposed to be resting.
Yeah, you think sleep is like metabolic downtime. Right.
Right.
We rest, the body rests. Simple.
You'd think so.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people, especially if there's some insulin resistance or maybe prediabetes going on, the body just can't coast for that long without fuel readily available.
And that creates this trap, this awful cycle.
That's the core problem right there.
Mm.
It's a really vicious loop. If your blood sugar is unstable underneath it all, well, that messes up your ability to get deep restorative sleep.
And then bad sleep makes the blood sugar problems worse the next day.
Dramatically worse. It's a closed system. So our mission really is to offer a shortcut, a way to interrupt that cycle, like right before you even get into bed.
Okay, I'm listening. What's the shortcut?
Well, we found 7 things, ridiculously simple things, often really unexpected things you can drink or, consume before bed.
7 ways to fight the nighttime drama. All right, let's stop chasing these spikes and dips. Tell me more.
Okay.
So let's unpack this first. Why? Why is the body so, frankly, rude around 2 or 3 a.m.? Why can't it just let us sleep?
Yeah. Well, it really boils down to fuel supply and demand. If you had a dinner that was heavy on simple carbs or sugar,
Which, let's be honest, happens.
it does. That fuel burns off relatively quickly, usually right around, the middle of the night. And when your body senses that blood sugar is starting to dip too low, that's the trigger. It sees that as a genuine, life-threatening crisis.
A life-threatening crisis while I'm tucked safely in bed. Brilliant.
The system just can't handle blood sugar getting critically low. So it's a response. Call in the internal SWAT team.
Which involves
Flooding your system with stress hormones, primarily cortisol, that's the main stress signal, and adrenaline, which is a really powerful neurotransmitter.
adrenaline, okay.
These hormones are strong, they work fast, and they basically force the liver to dump its stored glucose into the bloodstream to bring that sugar level back up.
And that cortisol, it's like that horrible blaring alarm clock you accidentally set for 3 a.m. It doesn't just wake you, it makes you feel like you forgot something critical, like paying taxes or a huge deadline.
Exactly. It's stressing you out, jolting you awake, all just to stabilize sugar. And the adrenaline, well, that just makes sure deep, restful sleep is completely off the table for a while.
Great. So that's one way it ruins the night. What else?
Well, even if you dodge the big cortisol spike, there's what we call the hydration trap.
The hydration trap. Sounds ominous.
It can be. If someone has consistently high blood sugar circulating, their kidneys go into overdrive. You're trying really hard to filter out all that excess sugar.
How?
Through urine. That's why many people with blood sugar issues are up 3-4 times a night needing to pee.
Okay, yeah, that's familiar for some. But wait, doesn't constantly peeing just make you dehydrated? Which sounds bad.
Bingo. It creates this dangerous spiral. You urinate frequently, you lose water, you become dehydrated. Now, think about making soup. If you let too much water evaporate, what happens?
The soup gets thicker, more concentrated.
Precisely. In your bloodstream, that dehydration makes the remaining blood sugar much more concentrated. Its level actually goes up.
Seriously. So trying to get rid of sugar makes the sugar problem worse.
In this context, yes. You're dehydrated, your blood sugar is spiking again because it's concentrated, and that can send you right back into that stress hormone cycle.
Rough.
Wow, okay. That's, a genuine lose-lose. But you mentioned something else interesting. Even if you somehow survive the night, okay, there's this dawn phenomenon.
Oh, yes. The inevitable morning rush hour for your hormones. It's totally natural. We all have this internal clock, a circadian rhythm.
Right.
And cortisol, being the main get-up-and-go hormone, is naturally designed to peak around, say, 7.0 or 8.0 a.m.
To help us wake up.
Exactly. But for people who are already struggling with insulin resistance, that natural, potent morning flood of cortisol tells the liver, release the glucose stores, time to get moving.
So even before you've had breakfast, maybe even before coffee. Your blood sugar can be at its highest point of the day, just because of your own body's hormones.
That's the dawn phenomenon. It's a real uphill battle, even if you ate perfectly the night before. Okay, so the solutions we need have to do a few things at once then. Lower stress, keep sugar stable overnight, and maybe protect the system itself.
Precisely. We need things that tackle the stress hormones, promote stability across that whole long fasting window, and ideally actively protect the very cells that make insulin.
All right, let's get to the good stuff then. The solutions. Where do we start? You mentioned a pantry power trio, things we probably already have.
Let's start right there. First up, a real classic combo, apple cider vinegar and cinnamon.
ACV and cinnamon. Okay, how does that work? Just mix it up.
Pretty much. A tablespoon or two of ACV and some water. Maybe add a pinch of cinnamon. Helps the taste too. They work because they target slightly different things.
Tell me about the ACV part first. It gets talked about for everything. What's its job here, specifically at night?
Its main role here is slowing things down. ACV seems to inhibit some of the enzymes that break down starches, which means it slows down how fast your stomach empties. The food you ate digests more slowly. That helps prevent a rapid sugar spike after dinner, but crucially for nighttime, it means you get a gentler, more sustained release of energy overnight instead of a sudden drop-off.
Ah, a sustained trickle, not a sudden crash. Got it. Makes sense. Okay, what's number two?
Number two is one everyone knows for chilling out, but it's got metabolic chops too. Chamomile tea.
Chamomile. Yeah, great for sleep. But what else?
Well, it does have that dual function. Yes, the calming effect helps lower circulating cortisol, which we know is key for sleep and blood sugar.
Right.
But here's the really interesting part, chemically speaking. Compounds in chamomile seem to actively protect the beta cells in your pancreas.
The ones that make insulin.
Those are the ones. It's like providing some defensive support for the insulin factory itself, helping it work better.
Wow, okay. Chamomile's got hidden depths. And number three in the pantry trio.
Often enjoyed as a nice warm drink, golden milk. But we're not focused on the, cozy vibes as much as the power players. Turmeric and ginger.
Ah, the spices.
It's the synergy between them that's magic. Turmeric, especially its active compound curcumin, is a well-known anti-inflammatory, and it does help stabilize blood sugar.
Okay.
But when you combine it with ginger, studies suggest their compounds sort of amplify each other's effects. You get a much more potent compounding impact on metabolism and inflammation than if you just took one alone.
Nice. Turmeric and ginger, tag teaming, inflammation, and blood sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, those three seem pretty accessible, powerful starting point.
Definitely foundational moves.
But what if someone feels like they need something a bit more targeted? Maybe focus specifically on protecting those insulin cells you mentioned, going beyond the pantry.
Exactly. Now we get into what we call the deep cuts. These are focused on giving serious support right where insulin is made.
Okay, number four. This one's a surprise. Aloe vera juice. I think of that for sunburns.
Yeah, most people do. Or it may be digestion. But some interesting research points to its effect on those pancreatic beta cells, the insulin producers.
Again with the beta cells.
Yep. It seems to help maintain their structure and function, sort of like another layer of protection for that internal engine room. Helps the insulin they produce work more effectively.
Aloe vera juice. Okay, unexpected. Now, number five. This is the one you said really raises eyebrows. Berberine tea. And you compared its effectiveness to something pretty major.
I did. The research is really compelling. Berberine's mechanism, like how it actually tells the body to handle glucose, is often described in studies as being strikingly similar to metformin.
Whoa, hang on. Metformin is a major prescription drug for type 2 diabetes. Berberine is. Well, you can buy it as a supplement. How can you compare them? That sounds almost too good to be true.
It's a significant claim, and it needs context. The reason for the comparison is how it works. Berberine primarily activates an enzyme called AMPK.
AMPK.
Yeah, AMP-activated protein kinase. Think of it like your body's metabolic master switch.
Okay.
When AMPK is switched on, it tells your cells, stop storing fuel, start burning it efficiently. It improves insulin sensitivity and helps reduce the liver pumping out extra glucose.
So it's hitting key metabolic pathways.
Just like metformin aims to. But here's the potentially huge upside. Many users report getting these kinds of benefits without the often unpleasant gastrointestinal side effects that sometimes come with metformin.
That's a massive point for sticking with it long term. But given its power, you definitely want to talk to a doctor before trying it, right? Especially if you're already on meds.
Absolutely essential. Powerful compounds need informed use. Always, always check with your healthcare provider.
Okay. Berberine. Very interesting. So we've calmed stress, supported the pancreas.
Mm-hmm.
What about those electrolytes we lose from the hydration trap?
Excellent point. That brings us to number 6, electrolytes, specifically focusing on magnesium and potassium.
Minerals. Okay. Magnesium first.
Magnesium is often called nature's chill pill or the ultimate physiological relaxer. It's really effective at helping decrease cortisol.
Ah, the stress hormone again?
Exactly. So it helps calm the nervous system, which helps you sleep better, and better sleep directly helps regulate blood sugar. It's a triple threat.
Nice. And potassium. You said something interesting about how much we need.
We need a lot. The official recommendation is around 4,700 milligrams a day. Almost nobody gets that much just from food.
Wow, 4,700. Okay. Why is it so important?
Well, it helps relax smooth muscle tissue, which can help bring down a high pulse rate, that kind of anxious, buzzy feeling.
Okay.
But crucially for blood sugar, potassium is essential for the actual storage of glucose. Your body needs it to stash glucose away properly in your liver and muscles. If you're low, your body struggles to put that sugar away where it belongs.
So if you're stressed, pulse is high, sugar's wonky, potassium might be low. Makes sense.
Which leads us perfectly into number 7. And honestly, this is the biggest plot twist of the whole list. The most unexpected ally, salt. Plain old sodium.
Okay, stop right there. Salt.
Well-
Sodium. Everything I've ever heard, especially for anyone watching blood pressure or blood sugar, is avoid salt. Cut back on sodium. Run away. Why are we talking about adding salt before bed?
I know. It goes against decades of standard advice. But here's where the body's internal priorities get really fascinating. That conventional advice, while well-meaning, often misses this critical piece.
What piece?
Your body absolutely has to maintain fluid volume in your circulatory system. It needs to keep your blood pressure from crashing. That's priority number 1.
Okay, maintaining volume. Makes sense.
Right.
What's that got to do with salt and cortisol?
If your sodium levels get too low, maybe from sweating a lot or deliberately restricting it too much, your body senses a threat to that fluid volume.
Low volume alert.
Right. And guess who responds? The adrenal glands, your stress HQ. They're forced to pump out more aldosterone, a hormone that tells the kidneys to hang on to every last bit of sodium.
Okay, trying to conserve sodium.
But here's the catch. When the adrenals are stressed and working hard to make aldosterone, they also tend to pump out more cortisol as collateral damage.
You're kidding. So trying to be healthy by drastically cutting salt could actually raise my stress hormone.
In this specific context, yes. Lowering sodium can inadvertently spike cortisol, which then spikes anxiety and blood sugar instability, the very things we're trying to fix overnight.
That's completely counterintuitive. That's wild.
It really is. So the idea is that adding just a tiny pinch of salt, maybe dissolved in that last glass of water, or even just placed under the tongue right before bed, can signal to the adrenals, it's okay, volume is stable, stand down.
And that keeps cortisol lower.
Potentially, yes. It helps keep cortisol lower. It supports proper hydration because sodium helps you retain water appropriately.
Preventing that concentration effect we talked about.
Exactly. And it helps keep you calmer through the night.
Wow. This humble white crystal supports nerves, muscles, hydration, and now maybe our overworked adrenal glands too. Perhaps the salt shaker isn't the villain we thought it was, maybe just misunderstood.
In the right amount at the right time, it acts as a key electrolyte, keeping things calmer, more balanced, and that translates directly to more stable blood sugar while you sleep.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. We started this deep dive talking about that horrible 3 a.m. panic wake-up. And we've landed on 7, honestly, pretty surprising allies. And they all seem to be working towards 3 main goals, right? Lowering the stress hormones like cortisol.
Yep.
Stabilizing blood sugar so it doesn't dip low enough to trigger that internal fire alarm.
For sure.
And keeping us properly hydrated so we don't get that dangerous concentration effect.
You got it. Those are the 3 pillars for a calmer night, metabolically speaking.
So the big takeaway here isn't necessarily to chug all 7 things tonight.
Oh, definitely not. The real power is in small, consistent changes. Just picking 1 or 2 of these simple bedtime rituals that resonate with you. Maybe it's the protective chamomile, maybe the metabolic kick from berberine, maybe even just that counterintuitive pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Implementing even 1 consistently could potentially make a huge difference in finally breaking that awful cycle of poor sleep fueling bad blood sugar and bad blood sugar wrecking your sleep.
It's amazing. We spent so long being told to fear salt, banish it for better health. But what if? What if that simple, slightly weird act of putting a tiny pinch of salt under your tongue before bed is actually an overlooked key? A key to better sleep, and maybe, finally, a less dramatic, non-emergency kind of morning.
It's definitely something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little food for thought, or maybe salt for thought.
Exactly. Something to mull over as you grab that bedside glass of water tonight.